What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction video, and this one we have Joe Rogan and Sadhguru talking about Lord Shiva. Now, before we can dive into this, if you happen to enjoy it, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, if you would like to support the channel by becoming a member, there's a link in the description section that you can sign up with and receive exclusive benefits. Let's dive right in.
How do you think they figured this out? This is getting back to this. You kind of went around that, but
this happened over 15,000 years
Right.
ago. The first yogi, he's referred to as the Adi Yogi. Today, to honor him, we have set up a 112 feet tall bust of Adi Yogi in India. You must look him up.
112.
Yeah, you can look him up, Adi Yogi.
Hey.
What part of India?
In southern India, in Coimbatore, in Tamil Nadu. So,
wow.
this is 112 feet because he gave 112 methods as to how. So this is, what to say, this is
15,000 years ago. I figured this out.
over 15,000 years ago. We are saying this over 15,000 years ago because of they talked about certain celestial happenings. Those happenings have been confirmed today as well over 15,000 years ago. And we have iconographic proof of something like 12,400 years. Yeah, that's Adi.
Whoa.
112
That's
feet tall.
amazing. That is amazing.
That's a crazy statue.
Yeah, this was
Yeah, how
designed.
old is that
This was designed by me and built by all volunteers inside the center.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that a
That's
building?
incredible.
So can you go
This is-
inside of that?
You can go inside, but there's no building inside because it's metal. It gets very hot inside.
Oh. Wow, that's beautiful.
The idea was
That's
when I designed this,
incredible.
it took me 2.5 years to design this face. You're not seeing the face very clearly. Let's see if you can get a picture where the face is clear.
It's very
maybe,
beautiful.
yeah. So I wanted intoxication, stillness and exuberance on one face. So it took me 2.5 years to design this face. What do you think? It has these qualities?
I think you nailed it. And how was this constructed? This is all metal?
It's all metal.
How was it made?
So we made this, it took us some 680 tons of steel.
Oh
Now we are doing another one near Bangalore, the same one. But now we are doing it with almost 170 tons less because now we figured out the design much better.
Oh, wow. That's incredible, though. I mean,
That
it really
is.
gorgeous. And that's all. Is it welded together? Like,
Yeah.
how is it?
See, you can see some patchwork here, you're not seeing it. But actually, the metal pieces are all about this much size. We could have removed that, we could have, brazed that and removed that. But when I looked at it, the roughness of it looked better than a smooth face, so I just left it as it is. So there are patches.
So you can see the construction.
You can see the
method when you're
construction material, not really that visible, but you can see for an observer, you can see that, which gives a kind of roughness to the statue, not very smooth.
That's truly incredible. That statue was incredible. Sadhguru, man. Sadhguru is definitely awesome. And I didn't know about this. 112 methods. I did not know about it.
So this yogi that devised these 112…
So when he came, he appeared somewhere in Himalayas and people saw that he was dancing wildly in ecstatic states, completely oblivious to everything around him, or he sat still. For days on end, weeks on end, he just sat still unmoving. So initially, a lot of thousands of people gathered, some miracle is happening, but slowly, because he didn't perform any miracles, no fireworks happened, people got bored and they left. Only 7 disciples hung on because they saw the greatest miracle is the man is not getting up for food, water, toilet, nothing. That means he's beyond the physical nature. He just sat there for months on end sometimes. The only sign of his aliveness was tears of ecstasy were dribbling down his cheeks. That was the only sign of life, otherwise he looked like he's dead. So when he came to some moments when he came to his consciousness, they pleaded, they wanted to learn, what is it that is happening to you? So he tried to be dismissive, he didn't want to be in touch with them, but when they hung on, when they persisted, then he put them on a preparatory kind of work. They went through the preparatory work and then he started expounding for many years what is the science of how human mechanism is made. And you won't believe this. 150 years ago, Charles Darwin talked about evolutionary process.
Yeah.
Over 15,000 years ago, he spoke something which is parallel to Darwin's theory of evolution. Even today, every Indian person knows about this. There are 10 avatars. Avatar means not the movie.
Oh, we just saw this in a different video where we got to learn about these 10 avatars, and it was absolutely crazy. Talking about the theory of evolution, like you said, it's not the same thing, but it runs kind of parallel.
That you saw, avatar means a manifestation. So 10 avatars are, first avatar is called Matsya avatar, which means the life was in the form of fish or it was water, it was in the water. The second one is Kurma avatar, which means it's a turtle, that means it became an amphibious life. The third one is a wild boar, it's called Varaha avatar. Other small things happened but the mammals came. Then the next one is called Narasimha, who is half man, half animal. Next one is a dwarfed man, Vamana avatar. The next one is a full-grown man but a volatile man. He's so angry and so crazy, or a fighting man that always he went about chopping off people. He got so angry and he lopped off his own mother's head. So the next one is a peaceful man, is a Rama avatar, he's a peaceful, gentle man. The next one is a loving man, Krishna avatar. The next one is a Buddha avatar, who is a meditative man. The next one, the 10th one, is supposed to be the mystical man. These are not individual people to be seen. This is the evolution of life on the planet. If you look at Darwin's theory of evolution, somewhere it runs parallel to this. From waterborne life to amphibious life to this way. Half man, half animal, dwarfed man, like this it has grown. So
That's
he talked about
wild.
this and he said, see, if you want to evolve further, then something in relationship to the earth and the sun must change. Otherwise, physiologically you're not going to evolve further. But you have a consciousness with which you can transform yourself absolutely and become completely different from what you are right now. Right now you're available to all the forces of nature. Right now in many ways you're enslaved to what's happening around you. You can rise above this and evolve consciously. But physiological evolution has come to a standstill because planetary movement and who you are right now, the planet and the solar system is functioning like a potter's wheel to make this happen. This life…
Like a what?
Like a potter's wheel, you know? Potter's wheel.
Oh, potter's wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's functioning like that, it's gotten you to this place, so people ask, can we develop more intelligence? Can we become bigger than this? He says, no, physiologically, your evolution has come to a place, unless there is some serious change in the relationship between the planet and the sun, that will not happen, but consciously you can evolve. So then he propounds 112 ways as to how you can do it, 112 distinct ways how you can do it. So that is how yoga started.
Who do you think this person was?
He's Adi Yogi. They called him because…
That's absolutely insane to think about that this was… He said this 15,000 years ago. That's wild.
he never introduced himself. They called him Yogi because he was the first one. They called him Adi Yogi. Adi Yogi means the first yogi. And he's also referred to as Shiva. Shiva means one who is not, that which is not. In the sense, see today modern science is speaking in these terms. In an atom, for example, over 99% of it is empty space. There is proton, neutron, electron, all that covers less than 1%. 99% is empty space. So it is in the cosmos, 99% is empty space. See, right now you look at the ceiling and you think it's full of star-like lights, but actually there's more empty space than lights, isn't it? But because our visual apparatus are in a certain way, designed in a certain way, it gives more prominence to light because that's what we see more clearly. So he said everything is like this, so if you transcend your physical nature, you become a Shiva. That means you are nothing. But nothing is the most powerful dimension of the existence because it is in the lap of the nothingness, everything is happening. What you call as everything is just 1%.
Do you think this was a real person, like a real individual, or do you think it's representative of the learning of yoga and the best way to establish it, to express it, was to make it a person?
It's a real person because the places where he came, what he spoke, everything is recorded in history, largely by lore. Today people are trying to write it down in books because in India we don't believe in scholarship, we believe in experience, inner experience. So it's always transmitted as a oral tradition for a long time. These days people are writing down in many ways. It was a real person because…
But he's a spectacular human being, if they could do all the
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah.
See, when he came down south, in southern India at that time people…
A truly spectacular human being. Like, to think about somebody who like said all of this so long ago, and it's like 150 years ago, Charles Darwin talked about the theory of evolution, and it's like this app that runs parallel to that, but 15,000 years ago was wild. And then the ability to not eat, not drink, not use the toilet, just sitting there, that's incredible.
were way shorter than the northern people. So they say he was twice the height of an average South Indian woman. So they say he must have been… because an average South Indian woman, tribal women were like 4.5 feet, so he must have been 7 or 8 feet tall. That people said he was twice that. And they say when he stood next to a horse, he was as tall as the horse's ears.
But do you think these are exaggerations?
No,
do you think, what do you think
exaggerations could be there, but because his physical size doesn't mean anything for his yoga.
Right, but
so
why…
there's no point exaggerating that aspect, I'm saying.
Right.
See, if he was a warrior, somebody may exaggerate him. But for a yogi, what is the point making him a big guy physically?
to make him divine, so
No,
physically unique.
that is the whole thing. See, in India, the Indian culture has only spiritual paths. There is no real religion per se, because a religion needs a belief, right? Spiritual process needs a quest, a seeking. If you are on the spiritual path, we call you a seeker. If you ascribe to religion, we call you a believer. all right? Belief means something that you do not know. Because an authority speaks, you believe that. It could be your father who says that this is the truth and you believe him as a child. Then it may be a priest, then it may be somebody bigger, or it may be in a book. You believe it because it comes from an authority. But the nature of that culture, the Eastern culture, sees there is no authority for us. Truth is the only authority. Authority is never the truth. So that is the essence of Eastern mysticism and Eastern spirituality, that it is, you're always a seeker, never a believer.
So you think that yoga just emanated from this one incredibly unique human being that was larger than everybody else, that had supernatural abilities, that existed 15,000 years ago?
No. See, now you're making a superhuman being out of somebody.
By
No.
making an 8-foot tall person who can
No,
go for
you
days
see,
on end without drinking water.
there have been people like that, all right, in every culture. There have been
Really?
physically large people, but his physical size has nothing to do with his capabilities.
Right, but
Because
the capabilities are super physical too, aren't they?
no. See, this is what it's about. Yoga is not about being superhuman. Yoga is about realizing being human is super. That's what is important.
Ooh, yoga is not about being superhuman. Yoga is about realizing that being human is super. Dang, I like that.
So that's the whole thing that he's saying. How being human is so super, if you explore your humanity to its fullest, you will become so fantastic. Being a human being itself is a fantastic feat. You don't have to act like a superhuman being. He did not perform any miracles, he did not do anything. He just taught them how to be beyond the limitations of one's physical and psychological structures. That's all.
Do you think if this person didn't exist that yoga still would have been invented without him?
Of course, somebody else would have. After that, many yogis have come. But he's maybe even before there were people, but they did not speak, or they did not gather disciples who would take. So he sent his 7 disciples in 7 different directions. One was sent to southern India, who is today, we hold him as the father of southern mysticism, Yogi Statue, who came down south, and he did maximum amount of work there. Every human habitation he touched at that time and brought spiritual process as a living practice, not as a separate practice. Just the way you sit, that's just the way you do things, just the way you address each other was made into a spiritual process. See, right now in India, if people go to the temple and whatever their favorite deity, if they worship, they will stand like this. If anybody comes also, they'll stand like this. If a dog comes also, they'll do this. If they see a rock also, they'll do this. If they see a tree also, they'll do this.
For the people just listening, you're holding your hands together in prayer.
It is not in prayer.
Well, this way, whatever you're doing with your hands.
Yes,
You know.
this is done to everybody,
Yes.
all right?
Okay.
So because spiritual process is not alien to the life that you live. The way you live has to become spiritual. It's not that you have a spiritual practice and you have a separate life. It is the same thing. You integrate it into your life. So he did that. Another one stayed with him, another one came to the northern part of India, another one went to Central Asia, there are certain footprints of his. Another one went to North Africa, another went to South Asia, another one came to South America. Wherever these yogis went, suddenly those cultures where they went saw a sudden upsurge in the knowledge of geometry. Wherever you see extraordinary sense of geometry, which is not in line with the tribal existence that they had, that means a yogi came there.
Sense of geometry meaning like the structures that they built?
Yes, structures
architecture?
that they built, the artifacts they created, the way they arranged things around themselves, suddenly they had a different sense of geometry. Because yoga is essentially a cosmic geometry.
Cosmic geometry.
Yep. To align yourself in line with the cosmos so that it reverberates as the same.
Dang. I never knew all this. Like I said, I just watched a video recently about the Adi Yoga or Shiva for 50,000 years ago, and talking about the 10 avatars. But I didn't know about the 112 methods, right, to become the fullest human being that you can be. I didn't know that there were, what did he call them? Yogis. I didn't know that there were yogis sent around the world, and then you could kind of tell there's a presence of a yogi by the sense of geometry taking a surge. This is just kind of incredible. That's all we have for this video, though. If you guys enjoyed that, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like. Also, check out the next video. See you guys later.